Hi everyone, nice to meet again. In this video, we are looking into the GLP and its compliance monitoring. Now, let's start. Well, in our previous lectures, we had talked about the GLP and its principles. We now know that the adherence of the GLP principles is the responsibility of the test facility. However, in order to be recognized as a test facility that conforms to the GLP principles, there is a need for accreditation or recognition by the authority. These national authorities are responsible for carrying out the compliance monitoring. Through these inspections and audits, the authorized body will decide whether a test facility is in compliance to the GLP principles. If the test facility is verified as in compliance, the authorized body will grant a certificate of compliance, as a sign of recognition. As we had discussed before, the OECD is responsible in establishing the GLP principles for the international level. In addition to that, the OECD also provides guidelines for the national authorities on the procedures of GLP compliance monitoring. These national authorities are responsible for monitoring the compliance of the GLP principles and must be carried out according to the guidelines provided. Let's have a look at some of the terms that are important in this scope of lecture. Well, the GLP compliance monitoring actually refers to the periodic inspection or study audits of test facilities in order to ensure the adherence to the GLP principles. Meanwhile, the National GLP Compliance Program refers to this scheme, which was established by the national authority to monitor the GLP compliances in test facilities within its territories. One of the important components established by the OECD is the Mutual Acceptance of Data or MAD system. The MAD system allows a test conducted in one country to be accepted in another 40 participating countries, if it complies with the OECD data quality test and the GLP standards. This means that a company which complies to the OECD GLP principles is able to submit or accept data to multiple countries without having to carry out repetitive tests, which in turn, will save a great deal of money and time. Now, let's turn our focus to the GLP compliance monitoring program in our homeland, Malaysia. The Malaysian cabinet had approved in February 2008 that the GLP compliance monitoring program in Malaysia is under the governance and coordination of the Ministry of Health. Meanwhile, there are two bodies appointed by the government that are responsible in monitoring the GLP compliance. These bodies are the National Pharmaceutical Control Bureau, under the Ministry of Health, for pharmaceutical products. The Department of Standards by Ministry of International Trade and Industry for other non-clinical and safety testings. The two compliance monitoring authorities which were appointed by the government, monitors different kinds of products. The National Pharmaceutical Control Bureau or the NPCB monitors the GLP compliance for the pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, veterinary drugs, and food additives. Meanwhile, the Department of Standards Malaysia monitors the non-clinical safety testings of items in industrial chemicals, pesticides, feed additives, and non-pharmaceuticals biotechnology products. In Malaysia, the GLP compliance program is not compulsory. A test facility or a company that conduct the non-clinical health or environmental studies may voluntarily apply for the program, in order to be recognized and certified by the national authorities being GLP compliance. Among the types of studies that are subjected under the GLP-CP are the physical chemical testing, toxicity studies, mutagenicity studies, environmental studies, studies on water, soil and air, residue studies, and the analytical and clinical chemistry testing. Once submitted, the test facility will undergo several stages of inspections or study audits. The first stage is the pre-inspection, which will be conducted within 60 days upon receiving the documentations. During this stage, the inspector will ensure that the test facility has the resources to undertake the GLP studies. The next stage is the inspection, where full inspection on all the ongoing and completed studies. The test facility is required to submit the master schedule, and inspection will be based on these documents. The inspection is based on the guideline as provided in the OECD No. 3 Guidance for Conduct of Laboratory Inspections and Study Audits. The surveillance inspections will be carried out annually for the first 2 years and will be conducted every 2 years in the subsequent years after the granting date. After the inspections, the inspection team will provide a written report of GLP P009, Test Facility Inspection Report. The inspection team will then identify the non-conformities and classify it either as major deviation or minor deviation. Major deviation status is given when the deviation detected threatens the GLP principles or even compromise the data integrity. Corrective actions must be carried out within a month only. Meanwhile, minor deviation is related with the issues that does not threatens the GLP principles or raw data integrity. A period of 3 months is given for the test facility to undertake any appropriate corrective actions. After series of inspections, the final approval will be given after the lead inspector had reviewed and accept the corrective actions taken by the test facility. The final report of the study audit will be approved by the Director of Accreditation. The final report will state the status given to the test facility, whether it is in compliance or not in compliance to the GLP principle. And finally, should the test facility receive the in compliance status, the GLP Compliance P012 certificate will be granted to the test facility. A letter of statement of compliance will also be issued to the test facility. And lastly, this is the summary of the whole registration and inspection process of GLP compliance program in Malaysia. Standards Malaysia will inspect, register and monitor test facility on regular basis of approximately 2 years cycle in accordance with the Master Register of GLP-CP. Well, that's the end of the GLP video series. Please do not hesitate to contact me should you have any questions or doubts. Till we meet again next time. Bye.